Hey, welcome to a new episode of the Not Your Marker podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about so many great things: NFTs, video games, the Metaverse, and much more. Thank you for joining and stick around. Welcome to the episode number 7 of the second season of the Not Your Marker podcast. This is actually the episode number 21st or 21 of the podcast. You know that I'm always grateful for all your comments and messages that I get asking for some things or asking me about some insights about some of the conversations that I've had in some other episodes. So today we're going to be talking about great things. Remember to subscribe if you like the show and to comment on any social network that you may use. So without any further ado, let's jump into the first news. So these past weeks has been really interesting in terms of news related with the Metaverse, NFTs, and such more. So yesterday we were taking a look at a news from the Wall Street Journal regarding the feature that Twitter is going to allow people to use in their Twitter profiles. So let me just share here with you what they have already on the Twitter Blue Labs Post Health Center website. So this is going to be a feature that is going to be only available for Twitter Blue users on iOS devices. As you can see, NFT profiles. So one of the things that you are going to be able to do is that instead of having that rounded version of your profile picture, you're going to have an hexagon that resembles a little bit of what you would find in the Ethereum blockchain. Here you have, they have posted everything like what are cryptos, what are NFTs, and so forth. What is the connection that they are going to have, and so forth. Again, one of the interesting approaches here is that now you're going to be able to play by the rules of the blockchain and the NFT community. I don't know if you are aware of this, how many people have been fooling around with the idea of that it doesn't matter if you have an NFT or if you own that NFT. Many people could use the JPEG version of that, a screenshot basically, and post it in as a profile picture or anything. So this is a great way of validating and to not regulating but normalizing the use of NFTs in social network. It is interesting to me that just as they mentioned that, also companies like Meta announced that they were going to also try to go into the metaverse, the blockchain field, especially through NFTs, and that brings us to another news. So in this case, what we have, and let me just share this with you again. The source of this news, I had it from the FinancialTimes, but it's all over the place. How Meta it's going to convert the main social networks, the Blue app, Facebook, and Instagram into marketplaces, or how it's going to add the possibility for people and users to exchange NFTs on those two networks. So this is interesting because essentially one of the things that we're seeing right now is that, as you may be aware of, OpenSea is one of the most popular and used marketplaces for the exchange of NFTs. One thing that Meta has on their, under the sleeves is that they have a huge amount of users. So if they manage to create a great option or a great alternative for using or for exchanging NFTs based on their social on the different platforms that they own, it could even be WhatsApp for sure. They could be the ones taking or making people take the big leap into blockchain and the NFTs field. I'm just thinking about what the future may look like. And I don't necessarily like the idea of Meta also capitalizing everything in the blockchain or in terms of NFTs. So we will have to wait and see until we have some more information about it and to see what their approach is going to be. So interesting thing. I saw a lot of great news that I wanted to share with you. So this is a really packed episode. So just to keep everything under the blockchain and cryptocurrencies field, there was a case of hacking, or I don't know if it was hacking, but at least to vulnerate the systems of crypto.com. I don't know if you are familiar with this website. They have been investing heavily on marketing. The Staples Arena in LA is going to be rebranded as the Crypto.com Arena, which just give you some idea of on what kind of field they want to play. So $34 million got stolen from from the wallets of different users. They say that affected 483 users, but they were reinstated immediately. So good thing about this is that obviously they have been able to to overcome this problem, this issue, this crisis, and to give that sense of reliability and safety that usually you would like to get from a company like a marketplace for cryptocurrencies. And in this case, they could also manage your wallet. So really good news on that part. I truly believe that 2022 is going to be the year where we are going to see the greatest leap yet on blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Not only because we already have many great big players betting on this, like, I don't know, we have seen the case of Twitter. We also saw the case of Meta, and we are going to be talking about some other cases as well. But because I believe that users are now more aware about the topic, and more we're seeing the great use cases for NFTs, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies in a massive scale. I also believe that we have still so much to discover and to find out, especially when we think about what is going to, which blockchain is going to be the one on which we're going to be living on. And when we talk about the metaverse, that makes it even more difficult to understand. Not to understand, but to guess on the basis of which direction is going to have each company it will make it also interesting to see how this performs in the future. So great. One of the things that that never ceases to amaze me about Amazon is how they keep trying to reinvent themselves, right? So probably you are familiar with the different projects that Amazon has, like from the security system that they have incorporated with Ring, which is a company that they acquire, to the everything that they do with the ecosystems, the Amazon Key convenient delivery that you can get on your cars, inside your home or your garage or whatever you want. Amazon Go for sure. And this is the latest one that we saw. This is a news from Geekwire that explain how they have launched or announced that they're going to launch Amazon Style. So Amazon Style is going to be a physical brick and mortar retail store in which Amazon is going to portray clothing, fashion. One interesting thing about this is that usually what you have lacking when you have an e-commerce, and in the case of Amazon, this is the best use case of this is that you are lacking the possibility of customers, those who prefer to feel and touch the product before they buy it, to actually have that opportunity. So obviously, the workaround for that is that they offer free deliveries for almost every product that you have, and it's pretty much straightforward. But when you go the extra mile and you offer this experience before the customer can actually purchase something, and then you have another distribution channel as well, you mix everything, because you're going to also be able to understand and gather more information from the physical behavior of your customers. That it's basically one of the things that they also wanted to understand with the Amazon Go channel. I think this is brilliant. Let's wait and see what they learn from this, and how we see, or how they can implement their learnings from this experience. So this is Amazon Style. So there is a great company that I'm pretty fond of, not only because of the values that they highlight, but also because they treat marketing in a very different way. So I wanted to share this with you, and this comes from The Drum, and this is a Tony's Chocolonely. I don't know if you're familiar with the company, but this is a Dutch company that sells chocolate. Their mission is to end with chocolate slavery or cocoa slavery. Basically, you would know that cocoa beans comes from mainly from African countries where working conditions are not so good for the people harvesting the cocoa beans, right? So Tony's Chocolonely is not a cheap product, but the fact that they are aware of that and they highlight that and leverage on that, because what they want to do is to make a change in how the industry move along. It's great. So the next great thing that they're trying to do is that they want to make people aware of how dangerous or counterproductive could be to eat in excess their products. So they have this campaign that it's called "I'm Bad for Your Health." Basically, what they are trying to do is to explain, and this is just a picture of a Tony Chocolonely chocolate bar, if you were watching the video, that explains how many grams of sugar are per each one of these pieces of the chocolate bar. Amazing. One of the things that they also trying to do is to incentivize some other companies to do the same. So it's not about not making or scaring customers away, but to make them aware that everything, obviously, in excess is going to be dangerous for your health or for you and for your body. So this is something that we don't see that many times. A company that is willing to say, hey, as much as we like to be in the business and as much as we like to for you to purchase from us, you have to know this. No, you have to know that you don't should be eating that much of our product. So the next thing that I wanted to mention was a news that we got last week, and it had to early this week. I'm sorry, and it has to do with one of the biggest acquisition. I would say that this could be one of the biggest acquisition of 2022. Even though we're only in half January. And it has to do with Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. So it is acquiring Activision Blizzard for a little bit more than 67 or 68 billion US dollars. So it's the largest acquisition that Microsoft have done until this date. And what it's interesting is that when you start looking for some analysis on this acquisition, many people believe that there could be many reasons why Amazon saw this as a great opportunity, especially when you take into account that Activision Blizzard has been on the spotlight for the past probably couple of years or even a little bit more for having this really bad work environment and corporate culture that is very toxic to women, and that only highlight the worst of how things were done. As a matter of fact, the co-CEO of the company quit because of she found out that she was not paid the equal as the co-CEO that was a man. So a lot of trouble. So why Microsoft decided to go into this and purchase this trouble company that obviously they have a huge great names like Call of Duty. King Entertainment also it's part of the deal, so they are going to have everything from Candy Crush on. And probably there are going to be two main possibilities for that. The first one would be, for sure, they are trying to get a step forward into being ready for the metaverse, especially when they had arguably one of the best products for the metaverse in the case of VR headsets with the HoloLenses, and also because or another of the reasons could be because they want to compete with what Nvidia and Google are trying to do with cloud gaming, right? Like with Stadia and the GeForce now. What's left for Microsoft, right? So one thing that they have guaranteed that they are not going to do yet is to make all these products like Call of Duty and all those franchises exclusive for Microsoft consoles like the Xbox, which is something that they already do, or they have done historically with franchises like Halo, for instance. But we will have to wait and see. As you can see, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, Diablo are just among one of the games that they are getting with this huge acquisition. We will just have to wait and see how these perform. Another thing, this has to go through some approval by the government of the United States. However, right now the antitrust eye is not on Microsoft, not like 20 years ago. And it's more focused on these other companies, Facebook, Apple, and Google, and and Amazon, and what they're trying to do. So probably this is the best time for them to move along and do these kind of things. I was reading that this acquisition would make Microsoft the third player in the video game industry, having Tencent as the first one. Which makes the case for them not being a monopoly. So in that case would be very interesting. Probably it's going to be approved and they're going to move along. So another thing, and this is very interesting. So when we were talking about the NFTs, we were talking about blockchain and so forth. One of the main things that we need to, from the marketing point of view, be prepared for is for the metaverse, right? And I just wanted to share with you 2 examples of implementation of branding and marketing strategies on the metaverse that we can already experience from 2 leading brands. And the first one has to do with Nike, that created the Nike Land on Roblox. So basically, they created this huge space where you can just interact with in the spirit of the company of Nike. You would be able to, I don't know, to participate in different activities, sport activities, and so forth. When you see this kind of approach to the metaverse, it makes a stronger case for things like NFTs. The other day, I was speaking with some of my students in class, and we were discussing about the use of NFTs in the future, in the near future, and how a platform like Fortnite with the skins would have been the best place to start with this, as it was the main source of revenue for Epic for quite a long time. Basically, because people would be willing to pay real world money for something that is digital, right? So in the case of the metaverse, when you think of your avatar from the metaverse, the representation of yourself, your values, who you are, thinking about that from a consumer behavior point of view makes total sense for companies like Nike and Gucci, which we're going to also see, to do what they're trying to do. Like, okay, if you want to convey the same message when you are playing or moving around the world as your avatar in the metaverse, well, we're up for you. So obviously, people like brands like Nike and Gucci, they have a lot of brand equity. People are going to be probably willing to go after that. But this is also a great opportunity, I would say, for independent artists and independent designers that could also make the case for their products to be also displayed not only in the physical but in the digital world. And probably we would be able to purchase, let's say that you go to a Nike store, and you get a pair of working clothing. Maybe you can also pay a premium and you would get the NFT version of that. It would be interesting to see that. The other example I wanted to share with you is the Gucci Garden experience that they also had on Roblox, and they have already been making some news because they managed to sell a bag for what would be the equivalent of $4,000. This is a digital bag, okay? So talking about nonsensical things, we will have to deal with this, okay? So imagine if you would pay $10,000 for a Chanel bag, how much would you be willing to pay for the NFT version on the metaverse? We will just have to wait and see how these perform. But if you are up for it, I would recommend for you to go into the metaverse and try to have these experiences, because this is the very beginning of this. And if you want to have like the first glimpse at what a very weird future with digital interaction having the same repercussions in real life as you would have it in person, this could be a way to try to understand what are the possibilities. I would also say that the metaverse is not going to be for everybody, right? However, I also believe that 2022 would be the year on which we are going to be seeing more. We have never seen, so we're not going to have been seeing so many things regarding the metaverse as I think that we're going to see throughout the whole year. So just having or taking a look at these cool brands going in makes the case. Also, it is a great opportunity for NGOs to do the same. So another thing about the metaverse is that 2 weeks ago we had the CES in the United States, and there was a clear hint of where marketing agencies are going to with the metaverse. So this I got this news from Morning Brew, and one of the things that they highlighted is that Wunderman Thompson, there, I mean, you would know this as one of the most well-known worldwide marketing agencies. They had their own representation of the metaverse right at the CES, where you could have meeting places and so forth. So this would, I mean, you look like something like Grand Theft Auto, the video game, I mean. And probably this could make the case of what Microsoft presented a few years ago regarding having this virtual reality world where you're going to have everything in just one place, and you will not have to actually be present in one place to be interacting with people there. Keep an eye on this, because with this whole work from home situation, I mean, and change of perception of working from home that because of COVID we have been dealing with for the past 2 years, I would say that it would be interesting for people and for companies to have, let's say, the whole building on the metaverse, so that people and employees from around the world could meet together in the same place, but the only thing is that it's not going to be digital. It's not going to be physical. It's going to be digital instead. Very, very interesting. I plan to do another episode just talking about metaverse. So let me know what you would like me to talk about. In the case of the metaverse, I'm going to try to look for a guest for that episode, so that we can discuss this with maybe someone that have already experienced some of the perks of going into the metaverse and interacting with people there. So the last news that I wanted to mention has to do with Starbucks, and this is also an article that I got from Marketing Brew, and it talks about how the consumer behavior for the coffee industry have been changing. This is an article from Erin Cabre, and just highlight one of the main impacts of the pandemic. So one of the things that they have identified here is that the foot traffic of these coffee shops has been, I mean, like through the roof. It's been incredible, but that the behavior for the consumers has been changing, in the sense that they have not grown as they would expected. Sometimes the growth have declined. Sometimes they would have, or they would see hike in very specific moments throughout the year, and also how the international markets for coffee has been taking a toll in the coffee industry. So one thing that we need to know, this is not only unique. I mean, this is not unique to the coffee industry. Many different industries have been dealing with the fact that they have different, customers would have different preferences as they have adapted to the second, almost third year of pandemic. This is, I mean, just the tip of the iceberg. Things like changing the perception of meeting places. I mean, if you go to a coffee shop and it would be to meet someone or whatever, everything that we knew from the second wave coffee that Starbucks initiated many years ago basically have been shifting. I would not say that necessarily for the bad or for the worst, but they have changed radically, and they will people will keep adapting themselves. All right, so the last one. So Instagram CEO appeared in one Instagram story talking about a new feature that they are going to introduce on Instagram that will allow creators to create subscription plans for their followers so they can get paid. This is, I would say, that probably very similar to what Twitter already have been doing. It's just a way to empowering content creators so that they can get more revenues from the content they produce. Probably have access also to exclusive content if you're a subscriber. Again, what we're seeing here is that we are getting up to a point where we have a very bland differentiation between different platforms. Something that was probably unique at the beginning to platforms like Patreon has become more of a commodity in many other places. I would say that the only reason why somebody would prefer to go into a platform like Patreon or any other would be because they would have a different kind of content, or they would have an enhanced experience outside their normal ecosystem where they usually share content. Like, I don't know, if you can imagine of someone sharing tips about, I don't know, health and fitness on Instagram, maybe you would go to Patreon and you could have there your own workout routines or whatever, depending on the plans. I don't know, that would make sense to me. But yeah, I mean, you could also use everything on Instagram. One of the main problems that I would see with this is that there is a huge lack of features that you would have for Instagram. I mean, for using it on Instagram when you are not on mobile devices. So in my case, I would say that would be something to look for and to find like a workaround, right? To be able to, I mean, I would say that Meta tried to fix that with the Creator Studio, but for me, it's like it was an initiative that got like halfway through. It didn't, I would say that they didn't completely finish what they envisioned for the Creator Studio. So probably that could be something to look for in the future. We don't know. I mean, Meta has been investing a lot into reinventing themselves, especially because they understood that they are no longer safe from the distance, as they see companies like TikTok moving closer and closer and closer to them, just based on the interaction and the content that customers are having with customers and users, customers with brands, users with content creators, and so forth. So that would be it for this episode, guys. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. And if you want to get more episodes, make sure to subscribe on YouTube or on any podcast aggregator that you have, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. And always send me a message if you want me to speak about something in particular. If you think that you may also add to the conversation, I would love to have you as a guest. I know that many of my students and some coworkers also listen to the podcast, and I thank you for that. Remember that if you leave a review of the podcast, that would be very helpful to get more people to get to know the show. Until the next time, please take care, be safe, and Lempi out.